In this video, we are going to talk about conditionals and how we can add else ifs into our code. So some reminders on coding. If we are varying something that already exists in our design, such as color, size, position, we should probably use a variable whose value we can update in the condition. If we're adding something new, we should call the function, like ellipse or rect, into our conditional. So what can we change? I just want to show you that so far we've only been changing color, and color is something that you can change, but you can also change other things. Like right now I'm changing the size of this ellipse. I'm changing the location of this rectangle, and I'm changing the color and the stroke color of this triangle. So there's lots of different things you can change. Our conditional structure, we have an if. This is the start of an if statement. It gives the first condition the program will check for. If the condition is met, meaning whatever's in the parentheses is true, then it will do whatever the code is and it will quit the conditional. Then we have an else. There's no condition. The code will execute. You don't always need an else, but it's good practice. So we're going to see if we can add to our conditionals. I'd love for you to open up this URL. It is a good reminder that you should pause this video, rewind this video, do whatever you need so you get this information. You should be coding along with me. Okay, so we are going to be class code along. If the mouse is on the bottom half of the canvas, change the stroke weight to be 8. If the mouse is exactly in the middle of the canvas, change the stroke weight to be 15. Include an else for if you are in the top half of the canvas. So we are going to be changing the stroke weight of these shapes. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to add in a stroke weight, and I'm going to start it to be like 3. Stroke weight. So you'll notice that if we gave this a fill, like fill 200, 40, 100, we put a color in here, which is why we set our variables equal to a color. But in the case of stroke weight, we put a single number. So if we use a variable to change the stroke weight, then we're going to have to be using a number. So I'm going to make a variable called var shape SW for stroke weight, variable to hold the stroke weight as it changes. Then I'm going to come into my function setup. I'm going to add some spaces, and I'm going to do shape SW equals. Now I want to remind you that again, it's a number, just a single number. We are not going to write the word stroke weight. We are not writing anything. We are just going to write a number. So I think I'm going to write the number 2. Starting the stroke weight at 2. So we declared, we initialized, and now I'm going to come in this parentheses and I'm going to do shape SW. Okay, so if the mouse is on the bottom half of the canvas, change the stroke weight to be 8. So we know we need to set up a conditional that's an if parentheses, curly brackets. If we are at the bottom of the canvas, the top and bottom deals with mouse Y, and the bottom is if we are greater than 200. I'm going to start by console.logging on bottom make stroke weight 8. And you can see that now in my console, when I'm on the bottom, it's saying on bottom, and when I'm on the top, it stops. So we want to make the stroke weight, so I'm going to put shape SW equal to 8. Ta-da! And it hasn't gone back because we haven't done an else yet. But before we do the else, I'm going to have us do if the mouse is exactly in the middle of the canvas. So I'm going to come to the bottom of my if statement, and we're going to set up another if, but this time we're going to put the word else in front of it. So else if, parentheses, curly brackets. I'm going to line myself up here. If the mouse is exactly in the middle of the canvas, so I'm going to say mouse Y, if mouse Y exactly equals 200. And I'm going to console.log in middle make SW 15. So I'm going to try and get, and you'll notice I put the coordinates here so that you can try and get your Y to be exactly 200. And you'll see it says that. And so I want my shape SW to be equal to 15. Which is awesome. So it's going back and forth between those two right now. But it's not doing anything when I'm at the top. So include an else for if you're at the top. So I'm going to say else, and I'm going to make my shape SW be factor 3. Thick and thin. So reminder, when we are doing conditionals, we have our if parentheses curly brackets. We can have an else if parentheses curly brackets, and you have an else. There are 2 challenges I'd love for you to work on. Can't wait to see what you can do.